In this segment, we're going to use online videos from Fire Engineering Magazine. They'll go over nozzle and hose techniques and tips.
Hi, welcome to Fire Engineering Training Minutes. I'm Dan Doyle, and today's topic of discussion is tactical nozzle. In today's fire service, we all work in staffing-stricken environments. Even though you might show up on the fire ground with multiple people and multiple apparatus, typically, the long and short of it is, after all the tasks are completed, there's only one or two people that remain at the tip of the hose line or wandering back and forth in the backup position and a nozzle position. What we're going to try to do today is cover a couple things, both how to position on the hose line as a nozzleman and a couple things that can help us as far as advancing the line and traveling in order to basically save energy so that we can stay in the game a little bit longer and make more of an impact in our firefight. So, with that being said, a couple different types of nozzles that we want to talk about for proper nozzle positioning on the line. One thing that's become quite popular in the fire service is a pistol grip nozzle. The bad thing about pistol grips, and it's all personal preference, but the bad thing about pistol grips is it becomes a crutch once you're tired and you're holding on to the hose line. The hose line will be back here, and this will be almost wedged up against your side, and you will be absorbing, your body is truly absorbing all the nozzle reaction. With that being said, though, as I move my pattern around to apply my nozzle or to apply my water stream, which is ceiling, contents, and floor, I now have to move my entire body in order to get all of that done, just like this. Thus, basically absorbing all of my energy. With everything on, the environment as it may be, I am just burning myself out. So, if I put this nozzle off to the side, and we use the nozzle without the pistol grip, I can position myself on the hose line just like so. Hose line about 1.5 feet out in front of me, just far enough so that I can manipulate my pattern and touch my bail, all right? With that being said, that gives me the ease of maneuvering my hose line around, covering ceiling, contents, floor with my stream, and not really even having to move my body much at all right? The other thing that we can do is, to conserve a little energy, is to keep the line underneath our leg, wedged underneath my shin. Two things help us here. The change of direction into the floor and my body weight. So once I open the line, I'm now not fighting any nozzle resistance whatsoever. Along with that, that puts me into a position in which I can travel. Notice the stance that I'm taking. My leg is out in front of me. Most of the weight on my body is backwards. So as I penetrate into the structure, most of my body weight is carried back here. If I discover a weakness in the floor, my foot might drop over steps, my body is not going to carry forward, I have the ability to drop back and avoid that obstruction. So, with that being said, I'll demonstrate the traveling tactic. I would kick my body back, use my leg to pull the line, and I would just move forward, just like this, inching forward, always keeping my body towards the rear. Now, a second ago, we discussed nozzle positioning just prior to my travel. What I want to demonstrate to you now is opening up the nozzle. I want you to pay attention to how the nozzle reaction has an impact on my body. When I keep my hose line locked up here, I'm going to have to combat all of the nozzle reaction that's out in front and that I'm holding on the line. Now, if I shift gears and take this line and put it down underneath my leg, watch how my body doesn't move at all, and I'm not really wrestling with that nozzle reaction. And it allows me just to travel and move up to my next doorway or my next point where I need to darken down the fire. Thanks to Globe Manufacturing for sponsoring. I'm Dan Doyle, and this has been Fire Engineering Training Minutes.
Welcome to Fire Engineering's Training Minutes. I'm Walt Lewis. Today we're going to talk about some problems you can have with your hose line just before you get water on the fire. In this case here, the hose line's been deployed, but it's very valuable that you know each of your pieces of equipment, especially your nozzles. In this case here, we've made our advance to the doorway. We check our hose line, make sure we've got the water we want, and the nozzle set as we need it. Unfortunately, during our crawl into the structure, it's not uncommon that the stream shaper turns and changes pattern. In this case here, it's very vital that we know what we have. For this nozzle, we've got a flush feature. That flush feature can certainly create a different type of stream than what we want to be able to attack the fire with. Or some nozzles also have an off feature at the end of the turn of the stream shaper. That will be a problem for us to determine. Us being at the nozzle, up at the front, a solid, hard, firm hose line, we knew we had water coming out of it when we entered the structure. Open up the nozzle and nothing comes out. By knowing our equipment, we realize that's the problem, and a quick change of the stream shape gets us the water on the fire that we need, rather than a panic back outside. In this case, we've deployed our hose line to the front door, getting ready to make our fire attack, and we've got a smoothbore nozzle on the end of the line this time. Like we should, we've got a good firm hose line, good water pressure. We want to check our stream to make sure we got a good hose line to use. Make our advance inside the structure, and once we get to the area of fighting fire, we open up our nozzle and imagine that the bail is all the way open, but this is our stream that we get coming out. That's not going to be effective for us, so we have to quickly decide what our problem is. We have a solid, firm hose line, so we're getting water. We've got trouble of water coming out of the nozzle tip, so the problem exists here at the nozzle. One remedy is to spin off the nozzle. If it has a stream shaper in it, then it'll allow debris to get hung up right here, causing your clog right in your tip. Without the stream shaper in place, the debris would flow straight through the nozzle, hopefully. But if the debris hung up in either location, the quick spin off of the nozzle allow you to put some water on the fire rather than none. And if necessary, add the tip back to your nozzle if the clog has been freed. Now you've got a good hose line to work with again, and you can advance. Again, we've got our hose line, smoothbore nozzle, and we're advancing into the fire. We checked our line. We've got good pressure and a good hose line. We start making our advance in. But after going in a little bit and taking a position, we suddenly run into a problem. As we open up on the fire, our hose line goes soft. We don't have good water coming out. It feels firm, so we're getting water, and the nozzle's flowing fine. Where's our problem? Somewhere behind us between the pump and here. We got to figure out what it is and do it quickly. If we have to withdraw to safety, do so. But a simple correction for the problem, maybe just popping the nozzle a couple times to chase any kinks out that we can't get to in a hurry. Now we're at the area of fire. We open up our line, poor water came out. So quickly, we can pop our nozzle, and what we had as a poor line to start with became a better line, and now good water flows for us. Another situation, we've gotten to the front door, we check our water, got a good hose line, we advance into the fire. Once we've gotten inside, we start fighting fire, and our hose line goes dead. We shut the line, we're not getting any more water back. It's not a problem with our nozzle, it may be a problem with the hose or our pump. We're not safe to stay inside, we've got to get out. You can choose to leave the line on the ground and follow it out in a hurry, or scurry back if you're close enough to the door. Once you get to the door, you can choose to pull the nozzle to you, however your department operates, but the best thing is your safety. And now with that ruptured length, the heads-up engineer on the outside, realizing the problem, comes in with a set of hose and quickly replaces the piece that broke. The officer and firefighter are withdrawing from the structure to an area of safety, and they advise the engineer by radio to make this happen. The other situation is we've advanced our hose line, got it to the front door, again, checking water. Got a good hose line, we make our way inside. But sometimes our equipment isn't in the best of conditions. Once we get inside, we work to open up the bail, and it moves quickly and easily in our hands, but no water comes out. The hose line is firm, the nozzle is our problem. No water's coming out. Is it a clog? No, it's our bail. Our bail separated from our ball valve from inside, Not a common circumstance, but we got to be able to recognize it. Is this a situation we can stay inside and fix? No. We've got to withdraw, get another hose line, definitely another nozzle. Whatever the circumstances, our safety is paramount. We have to be able to quickly decide whether we can stay inside and fix the problem quickly, go to a safe area of refuge and handle it that way, or go outside and start over with another hose line or fix the problem altogether. Some of the other problems we can encounter are at the pump, the hydrant, and beyond, but these are quick hose line problems we can encounter on the inside. I'm Walt Lewis. Thanks for watching Fire Engineering's Training Minutes.
Thank you for watching. Now as a company, go practice these skills.